everyone. Welcome to today's episode of 10-Minute Marketing. I'm your host, Sonja Crystal Williams. So there's this theme that I've noticed this season as we've been recording podcasts, a common thread that a lot of guests that we've had share. And you'll hear from them in some of our upcoming episodes. And that thread is this drive, whether it be in person or online, but this drive for developing communities, for creating connection, for looking at opportunities to connect with new audiences, or maybe even nurture the audiences you already have, and finding ways online to do that. So I want you to think about that, whether you're in the seat of owning and operating a business, whether you are on the marketing team of a brand and you're thinking about what other ways can we tap into our audience. And the simple answer is build community, right? So when I use the word build community, community means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But I'm talking about building community in the sense of finding a way within your niche to connect your brand with your followers in a way that you can speak to them, in a way that you can talk to them. And sometimes those communities look different, just depending on what medium or what route you choose to connect. Simple example is some people will say, well, I have a community of listeners through my podcast. And that, in fact, truly is a community. It is a community of listeners that you have. It's one-way communication. However, if you bridge that community into, let's just say, for example, a Facebook group, now that becomes a community where there's opportunity for two-way conversation. And that's a huge opportunity that a lot of brands can take advantage of. Am I building connection with my audience in a way that allows for there to be two-way conversations? It's no longer just me talking at them, but I'm talking to them. And I want you to also think about that in the broader sense, because probably one of the biggest, I'd say, challenges that I see a lot of teams that are managing social media accounts engage with, or the kind of the thing that I see happen a lot of cases, especially for brands that are just getting started on social media, is that the idea is post content, create it, post it, turn the wheels, turn into a cycle, turn into that machine. But something I want you to think about is how engaged is my brand in the online social media network that I'm on. And think about perhaps if building connection with your audience is important and engaging with them is important to you as maybe one of the tenets or one of your goals of where you're taking your brand this year, next year, whenever, this month, next month, whenever, then ask yourself, is this particular platform that I'm on, is this platform allowing me to build connection? Is it allowing me to build community? And am I participating in that community? Okay. And so simple example would be really evaluating if we're going to have a presence on Instagram, is the purpose of us being on Instagram to simply push out reels and get people to laugh and have fun and hit the like button? Or is it to get someone talking back to us? Is it to lead them somewhere? Is it to be open to them asking questions or lead them down the path of a conversation? Is it to bring people together collectively? And so as you are thinking strategically about your purpose on some of these networks, think about that too. Think about whether or not part of that purpose is to build connection. And there's a lot of places where you can build community. If we're thinking social networks, Facebook groups is a part of that mix. If we're thinking about other tools, even beyond, the social media networks, and thinking into maybe even SMS or messaging apps, there's a lot of tools that facilitate those conversations. WhatsApp, Telegram, GroupMe. There's lots of ways to get in front of our audience. If you have a course that your company has launched, you're a course creator, you represent a course creator, you're on the team working for a course creator, then there are other opportunities to facilitate those communities through some of those course creation tools like Mighty Networks or Kajabi or Thinkific, right? Just to name a few. And that's what we're getting to, is to really think about how do I begin to build, maintain, and foster an online community, and really get clear on what that should look like, and think about how you're going to design and approach that community. And that design might include anything from tapping into your email list, perhaps even announcing the launch of some type of community. That might include tapping into your existing social media networks organically, into audiences that you have that already exist. It could also involve using paid ads as a way to reach new people who might have an interest in the audience, or just growing simply word of mouth, old school, really spreading the word, and then maybe nurturing the community in an online setting, even using Zoom as an example, or Teams, or anything like that, to facilitate those conversations. So if I were to say again, the thing that my guests have in common this season, many of them, is that they are in some way shaping, creating, building, or nurturing thriving online communities, some large, some big. But even when we think about that, remember, quality over quantity. You don't have to have a community or build connections with 100,000 people to have impact. Even in large companies and with large brands, if you're focused on a niche, that community might be a subset of people. A really great example I'll share with you coming from a larger company is I'm in a group right now on Slack through ConvertKit, which is an email service provider. And Slack hosts small mini meetups. There's probably no more than about, I'd say 20 of us in some of these meetups that they've been hosting on Zoom lately. And then bridging those conversations, once we talk in Zoom and meet other creators who use ConvertKit as an email platform, we're also chatting in Slack in a group, right? That's a large company that's taken down a subset of a particular niche of people who use the product, and they're nurturing those leads and probably potentially upselling in the process. But it's an opportunity for them to build connection and be in tune with their audience. And that's what you truly get out of creating or nurturing an online community. You have the opportunity to find more people and expose yourself to more people who have an interest in your niche. You also have an opportunity to nurture the audience that you have today that currently exists, hear what's on their mind, truly understand them, what makes them tick, what makes them make certain types of decisions, what gets them engaged, so that you can replicate that and go out and continue to find more people to join your audience who might seem or be similar to those characteristics of your ideal customers that you're already building connection with. So those are my thoughts for today. And I'll leave you with knowing that stay tuned for the next few episodes. All right. I've got some great episodes coming up with entrepreneurs across the US and abroad, in fact, that are growing and building and nurturing and creating communities in different ways. And stay tuned so you can hear more about that. Until next time, thanks for listening, everyone.